afraid of no ghosts.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am your friendly neighborhood game ghost, back again for another video with something special this time. We are doing a showcase of 10 total conversion mods for Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. These aren't the only mods out there, and there are many more, but these 10 so far have been standing out for me, even if it's just the setting the mod is planned in. These mods are not in any order of favourites, just the order the part of their video was made in. I cannot wait for the workshop in Steam to be functional for Bannerlord, because we all know how easy it is to use and swap between mods, and they are all located in the same place so you don't have to go searching for them. I've also left YouTube links for the mods that have dedicated channels in the description, so definitely subscribe to those channels for more content direct from the developers. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have Eagle Rising. These guys already have a playable campaign out and it is brilliant. I love the late Republic, early Empire setting of the units. Would be awesome if we could have a Republic in game, but I doubt something like that is even possible unless Tale Worlds suddenly goes way in depth with politics. So the units for the mod are so well done and beautifully crafted. These guys really love what they are doing. I am waiting for the faction based on the Carthaginians to be added, and I've put a bit of a showcase of their arms and armour in the video. Carthage is one of my favourite factions of the time, and of course it is just a footnote of history, which is why I like playing them so much. I like to change history. Hannibal came close to destroying the growing Republic, but his ideals probably weren't what was required. Rome played to win, and Hannibal just wanted to end Roman domination of Italy. But I digress. If you ever wanted to play as a Roman general and feel what it was like to go up against bare-ass Gauls and screaming German warriors, then this is the mod for you. The Celtic faction, I call them Gauls, I think it's just a habit I will never get rid of. They look fantastic, as well as the Dryatic and the Scythian factions. Even the NPC leaders of villages are all in Roman garb and look fantastic. What's not to love? Either you can roleplay and destroy Rome, or you can be the next Julius Caesar or Trajan and conquer new lands and add them to your empire's borders. I have mostly been playing as a Roman, but have a Gaul campaign going on as well. Next, I think I'll make it a little easier on myself and play as the sucker based on the Scythians and just horse-arch my way to final victory. The mod has plans to add a slew of playable factions, such as a Greek faction, possibly based on the Spartans, a Macedonian faction, obviously based on possibly Alexander's army, and I am happy to wait, because whatever these guys produce will be absolutely amazing. Make sure you check out their Discord, and the link for that is in the description. So here is Separatist Crisis. This is one that I have been keeping a very close eye on. The models are so well detailed, I could stare at the Mandalorian Death Watch for ages and just watch those blaster bolts go hurtling towards the Republic troopers, who, by the way, also look amazing. The intricate detail is extremely well done, and this game should be at the top of anyone's list for Bannerlord mods. The plans that these guys are putting in motion are extensive and detailed, and involve 6 different brand new storylines detailed by the developer's own writing team, with separate Jedi and Sith storylines, along with Hutt Cartel, Mandalorian, Separatist Droid and Clone Trooper. These storylines will bring a unique flavour to whichever character you are playing, and hopefully bring a wealth of replayability. The map is going to be space as an ocean of sorts, with the planets being land and spaceports being the entryway into planets, and of course require the planet to be either neutral or of your faction. which hopefully means that sea battles, read space battles, will be a thing. The land will be like we all know and love from the current Bannerlord, with cities and towns ripe for plundering, or peacefully ruling over whichever takes your fancy. I mean, peaceful rule just means you have killed all those who oppose you, right? I am really looking forward to charging into battle with armies of droids, Mandalorians and Republic troopers, meeting up with Jedi Knights and slicing up some bad guys with my lightsaber, or more likely pulling out a red lightsaber and force choking my way through some Jedi scum, meeting up with Bo-Katan or Pre Vizsla and just generally making a nuisance of myself in the galaxy far, far away. The possibilities are endless, so make sure you keep up with the development of this mod. Next in the showcase comes Shokuho. Now these guys haven't released any playable material yet, but what they have to showcase looks brilliant. If you have ever wanted to visit the Sengoku Jidai period of Japan's turbulent past, then this is the mod for you. The weapons have been beautifully crafted and the units and setting look amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and wade through a river of blood and become the Shogun myself. The game starts in 1568 and the clans of Japan are fighting for supremacy and to control the emperor and be acclaimed Shogun. The Iko peasant rebels are rising up and opposing the old daimyos, and you are now slap bang right in the middle of it. Meanwhile, the Portuguese barbarians have brought weapons from their homeland, weapons that you could use to make yourself the next shogun. The adoption of firearms presented a stark contrast to earlier methods of warfare in Japan, with large numbers of matchlock muskets coming to the battlefield, bringing ever more numbers of peasants to bolster firing lines. There are 38 factions planned, including major and minor clans, right across the islands of Kyushu, Shikoku and Honshu, but it may be reduced to between around 20 and 30 by release. They haven't actually released that information yet if that's going to happen. So there's all new cultures, all designed around the different parts of Japan from the period. The developers have said the historical accuracy will constitute a large part of the mod, but some exceptions may be made for a better gameplay experience. The team is even redesigning the UI to be more from the time period and setting of the mod. They are looking at releasing a rough playable beta version in mid-2022, so make sure you mark that down on your Bannerlord calendar. Bretwalda is actually a mod that I didn't know much about until a couple of months ago. I was keeping up with 1066 AD, but that mod seems to have dropped off the planet, which made me a bit sad because I was loving their units and their mod spotlights. So hopefully that picks up again. But then developer Diamond mentioned this mod and I went hunting for it and it blew my mind. How good does this look? I love the Viking era of history and this mod is going to recreate that time brilliantly. The units look stunning and the sea battles are like Viking conquest, but better. The work these guys are putting into the models is immense and has me sitting, waiting for the next tidbit to be released. Most of what I'm showing here is just stills that the developers shot and then posted on their Discord or ModDB page, but the video with the beach landing and the charging into the fray, I just want to see the rest of that video. So the mod will be set in the 9th century around the time of the Great Heathen Army, from what I can tell from the dev blogs, and encompass the British Isles and Ireland. The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of Wessex, Mercia and East Anglia will all be there, Munster and Leinster in Ireland, with Picts in the north, Gales in the west, Bretons in the southwest, and of course the sea wolves themselves, the Danes and Norsemen, who control the Kingdom of Jorvik. The Munich will all be custom made by their own composers, and it really adds to the ambience in the videos. The Holmgang has been introduced, which essentially is a dueling feature which I really like. It can be a friendly duel between lords for a wager, or settling a battle in honourable single combat in times of war, risking it all on the strength of your blade. Religion will also play a part in the game, with Christianity facing off against the pagan invaders. This mod is definitely something that should be at the top of anyone's list. Next up is Kingdom Come. I am really looking forward to this mod. I love the setting as well as the plans these guys have. It's set in the high medieval period around 1270, and it's a little ahistorical in that you can get some later medieval units right from the get-go. But that's part and parcel of Bannerlord, where they don't have a system to lock units behind a time barrier or technology barrier. But don't let that take away from the mod itself. These units look stunning, and they have put so much work into the mod itself, and the scale is massive, with the map stretching from the far north of Europe down to Africa and east to central Russia. There are 16 major factions and 12 minor factions currently in development, with all those medieval favourites: the Kingdom of England, Kingdom of Scotland, Kingdom of France, the Holy Roman Empire, the Mamluk Sultanate, Teutonic Order, Duchy of Milan, Crown of Castile, the Moors, Kingdom of Hungary, Kingdom of Poland, the Golden Horde, Kingdom of Sicily, and the Sultanate of Rum, plus many more aside. I have already named way too many. I have played a few campaigns of this mod, and they have been generous enough to give me access to the testers version, and I cannot get enough. They are adding cultures for all the factions planned, and it is impressive. The variety of units in the mod is awesome. I do love a smorgasbord to choose from, and this mod delivers that in abundance. So many choices that I had to sit and just look at the troop tree for a bit just to find the path to the best units, but boy was it worth it when I had an army of Ritterbruder and Lenkenex. So definitely make sure you add this mod to your watch list. Kingdoms of Arda. Does this mod even need an introduction? The world of Tolkien is probably the most famous fantasy series in the English language. Weed-smoking wizards, trolls, orcs, goblins, and the world of men. What's not to love? Riding in a mighty charge of the Rohirrim, fighting orcs and Uruk-hai at the gates of Helm's Deep, climbing to the top of Minas Tirith and watching towards Osgiliath for hordes of orcs issuing forth from Mordor. So the mod is going to be a full port to a map of Middle-earth, with the first version only covering Gondor, Rohan, Mordor, Isengard, Harad and Dunland, but the map will be massively expanded in all directions as the mod grows, with new versions being released in stages. There will be a multiplayer version as well added, and you can play as your favourite characters from the books and films. All the locations on the map will be custom made, and the playable races included are elves, dwarves, Dunedain, orcs, hobbits, goblins and uruks. Creatures also added in are trolls, ents, mummikils, wargs and many more aside. Primary inspiration is the time depicted in the trilogy of movies, but the books are still giving inspiration to the developers. The mod actually starts 2 years before the Fellowship leaves Rivendell, and it will be possible for the player to attend the Council of Elrond. As the game's setting has been explained, the free folk of Middle-earth will fight the followers of Sauron, with minor factions too weak to deploy forces to change the fate of Middle-earth, but will be buffer zones, similar to how rebels are in Total War. So the screenshots of the mod look absolutely fantastic, and I am hanging out for that first release. The Last Days mod for Warband was brilliant, and this mod looks to surpass it. One to definitely keep an eye on. This brings us to the Old Realms. This mod is epic. I think I have heard that somewhere before, which only enhances that fact. I absolutely love this setting. Was not a huge Warhammer fan till I discovered this mod, and I will be a fan forevermore. The playable test version that has been released is awesome, and still, it is only a test version I could honestly rave about. The fun I have had with this mod, raising skeletons and getting my face smashed in by demons, is fantastic, but I will keep it to the point here. The mod is set in the age of Karl Franz's ascension to the throne and aims to capture the grim, dark nature of the Warhammer fantasy world. The old world will have you, the player, meeting and fighting alongside legendary characters such as Karl Franz and Grimgor Ironhide, and exploring places such as Karatz-Karak and Castle Drakenhof. The mod is going to be released in stages, and the first stage out now includes the Empire of Man and the Vampire Counts. Now this part is massively fun, although try not to run into any chaos parties until your party is much stronger. Don't fall into the whole "she'll be alright mate" when some chaos demon is stomping your face into the turf. The mod will include unique factions and races, along with those being divided into sub-factions like the Empire, into Elector States, Orc Tribes and Dwarf Holds. With 6 planned playable races, humans, dwarfs, orcs, goblins, vampires and wood elves, the game will also include siege weapons and artillery, so make sure you check it out. The link is in the description. The Wheel of Time is a series of fantasy novels set in a world where time is cyclical, and this makes it both the distant past and the distant future simultaneously. The Wheel of Time and the universe were forged by the creator, who at this point seems a little drunk to me, but anyway, I am not going to ruin the storyline for anyone wanting to investigate further. The mod is currently out in a beta version, and in-game there are 216 custom armors and custom weapons, including IEL spears and 2 rivers longbows, 17 magical effects including fireballs, which I had great fun with. There's 21 all new cultures including Shadowspawn and the Forsaken, with custom characters and many more new troops. All starting equipment has been replaced at this stage of the mod. There is not a custom map as of yet, but the map is under construction and will hopefully be released soon. The models are great. I had a party of Trollocs and started riding around throwing fireballs at anything that moved like an absolute madman, slaughtering everyone who came against my mighty beast army. There was loads of blight towns containing Trollocs who were happy to be recruited into my army, and they looked more and more menacing as they upgraded. Access to the one power, so i.e. fireballs, whirlwinds and lightning, among many others, is through channelers. I wanted an army of channelers, but so far Bannerlord has limits on what you can and can't do. So go easy on the channelers for now, but hopefully that gets patched and I can have a battlefield loaded with lightning and fireballs shooting down my legions of enemies with reckless abandon. I really enjoyed this mod and will definitely be playing it when it is fully released. The Witcher. So there is very little information on this mod, and I am adding to this list just on the fact that it's The Witcher. I first discovered The Witcher in a Steam sale sometime in 2011 or 2012, and I loved the world. The first game in the series wasn't that great, but I then checked out the books and I really enjoyed them. Then of course the other Witcher games and the Wild Hunt, bringing The Witcher to many more audiences, with the real kicker finally being the Witcher TV series. So if this mod lives up to any of the hype associated with it all, it will be brilliant. The models that are released so far look great, and we are hanging out for any information, and I even thought the mod was dead. It seemed until October last year, but now it is picking up again in earnest. There is going to be a custom map of the continent, bringing the wars between the Nilfgaardians and the Northern Kingdoms to a computer screen near you. The factions we all know, Temeria, Skellige, Redania, along with elves and dwarves, are all in the game. A magic system based on the mages and sorcerers from Witcher lore, and custom music the guys have been given permission to use from CD Projekt Red will also be appearing in the game. You can play as an Empire soldier rising through the ranks, or a lord in the Northern Kingdoms, a reaver from Skellige, or a mercenary just trying to make a buck by killing someone else's enemies for them. The whole scene of The Witcher is endless in its possibilities, as we have seen with the games continuing on from the books. When the books ended, the games continued. So with what we have seen, this mod looks promising, and hopefully we see a lot more content from the devs in the not too distant future. Definitely one to keep an eye on. And here comes the Trial of the Seven Kingdoms. So A Song of Ice and Fire is quite a popular book series, which is unfinished at this point in time, so some TV developers got their hands on it and decided to make a show which started off brilliant and brought the world of George R.R. Martin to many more new fans, and was amazing until they ran out of source material. But that's not to say that the setting isn't fantastic for a Bannerlord mod. With warring kingdoms over an Iron Throne, what's not to love? The mod so far has been released in a beta with a custom map of Westeros completed, but the map extended to Essos and the Dothraki Sea to Asshai is still under construction. The kingdoms and cultures so far included are Dorne, the North, Riverlands, Westerlands, the Andals and the Free Cities. There are functioning dragon mounts in future plans, along with Game of Thrones specific custom campaign missions and quest lines, all yet to be implemented, along with Night Walkers not yet in the mod but in future plans. The beta has been out for a while now and has gone through several updates. I have been playing it quite a bit. There is just something about building up an army of Northmen and ruffle stomping the Lannisters that just appeals to me on a molecular level. I don't know if anyone feels that way. If you do, definitely let me know in the comments. The game starts with a choice between a normal start, or if you want to join a faction and play as a lord, as one of the great houses, and that just adds another dimension to the game. With me as a Stark, burning and killing every Tully I can get my hands on, along with the Boltons, just to revenge myself on the Red Wedding. So definitely keep an eye on this mod and make sure you keep up with the progress. So that ends my review spotlight, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, leave a like, a comment if you have any thoughts or questions, and hit that subscribe button for more content. Thanks for watching.